Okay, let's start this. This is going to be my top games of the year. I'm not saying top 10 because there were so many freaking games that it's more than 10. It's top 15, in fact. It was extremely hard doing this list because there are so many gosh dang games this year that were... This is one of the best games, one of the best years for video games in a long time. This year was mind-blowing in terms of how many games there were that were, like, just top-tier games. Blew my mind, man. Whew! So this list took me a while to put together, and it was a top 20, and I narrowed it down to a top 15. So, let's see, how am I going to start this? Okay, so, I did some categories, just some basic ones, like music, graphics, and story. I guess I'll do that. Let's start out with, how should I start this out? Should I start this out with honorable mentions or the best in categories? Let's do honorable mentions. Ooh, the hell, I also have top disappointing as well. Oh my gosh, this is going to take all day long. Okay, I am reading my chat, by the way. So for the YouTube video watchers, if I'm like silent for a minute, I'm reading chat. Okay, so I guess we'll do the disappointing first. How do you spell disappointing? Is it one S and two E's? Disappearing, disappointing. Top disappointing games of the year. Let's start out with Berserk. Berserk and the Band of the Hawks. A Musou game. A Dynasty Warrior-esque game with the Berserk characters. That is the perfect fit, right? It's like, how could you go wrong? This is the perfect fit. I don't know if it's because I'm, like, fatigued on the Dynasty Warriors genre, or if the game's just bad. I think the game is just bad. This game is, like, so dull for a Berserk Musou game. It's just so bare bones and basic. And I don't know, man. They could have done so much with this, with the Dynasty Warriors genre, and it's just a bare bones standard Musou game. I mean, let's be fair, they're all pretty bare bones standard, but there are some shiners among the Dynasty Warrior games, and this is not one of them at all. I was so disappointed in this game, I couldn't even... I played like 2 or 3 hours of this thing, and I just couldn't get into it at all for the life of me. So, yeah, I guess I'll end it there. It's just... why? That's a really disappointing... And not only did we get the disappointment of this, but the freaking anime. Could you even call it an anime? The new Berserk anime is just so bad. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to rant over that, but that is awful. One of the worst animated things I've ever seen. Like, CG. Why did they go CG? It's so bad. It looks like flipping 1990s CG. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next game of disappointments. Outlast 2. Outlast 2. I was really hyped for this game because I really enjoyed Outlast and the DLC. I don't know how to put this to words of what disappointed me about this. It just... They went... It's like they looked at Outlast 1 and was like, let's just like up the factors more. And that's not what made the first one good. I don't know. Outlast 2 disappointed me so much. It was such a... What's the word I'm looking? It's just such a corner door-esque. And that's not even a bad thing for a horror game, but it's just like, it was so, like, by the numbers, and it's just upping the gore factor and the shock value factor, and it's just like, to me, it felt like it just felt like they were trying so hard. They just tried so hard, and that just turned me off so bad. It wasn't scary. Everything was predictable. It's like, hey, this is the formula from Outlast 1, but like more shocking or more violent. And don't get me wrong, I love gore in video games, but it's just like it was gore for the sake of gore and not like for the story. I don't know, man. It really disappointed me, and I rage quit this game so bad. I was streaming it. I rage quit this sucker midstream. Pisses me. It pissed me off almost as bad as flipping Amnesia Machine for Pigs. I remember I was running from this stupid girl or something, and it was just not scary, and it was just annoying. And it was so formulaic that I could just see the that's it. I could see the video game-ness to the game. Like I had like this X-ray vision and just could see every video game-esque design. It was just like, it took me out of the experience completely. It just was like completely like, here's our video game. Here it is. It is a video game. Like, here's the scripting for this enemy. Here's the next sequence to trigger this next sequence. And it's just like, I can, like, that's all I'm seeing is the game design. And when that is the forefront, that's a bad video game. So that's Outlast 2. Disappointed the crap out of me. Let's move on to the third and final game that I have on my list for the disappointment, which is, not many played this, but I did, because I am a huge fan of the series. Double Dragon 4. Oh my gosh. This is a turd of a video game. Watch the trailers for it. Looked great. It's like, it's got the original graphical style of Double Dragon. It looks like you got more moves, though. It looked good. And then you play it, and this game has not evolved one bit from the 88 version of the NES Double Dragon game. In fact, it feels de-evolved from the 1988 version of Double Dragon. It is such a slog. There's no... It's just mashing buttons. There's no, like, actual tactical approach to anything. You just approach an enemy and just mash A. It's just like, that's fun. That was fun in 88. Can you evolve a little bit? And even in 88, you got moves you unlocked with your character to bring more variety to it. And this game was just like, you had like 3 basic moves. It is so crazy. It's like the original guy that did Double Dragon, and he, like, did not learn a thing in, like, 30 years of video games, and just kept the same formula, and even made it worse in some ways. Like, I love Double Dragon still to this day. 1, 2, 3, love those games. This game is awful. This game is awful. Okay. I guess that's good enough for the disappointments. Jeez, that just pissed me off, though. Those games pissed me off. Double Dragon 4 especially, man. I was really excited for that. Jeez. Alright, let's move on. Let's do honorable mentions. I got so many in the honorable mentions category because... I don't know. Because I didn't want to do a top 20 list, I guess. So let's start off. Divinity Original Sin, which is Divinity Original Sin 2, which would have definitely made my top 20. But I only put like 6 hours into this game. And you cannot, like, I cannot, in good conscience, put this on my top list when I've only put like 6 hours into it. It hasn't grabbed me yet, but I know that this is one of the best RPGs ever made. I know it is. I need to put more hours into it and get more into the meaty chunks of it. This game is being praised by everyone. Like, you look on websites, the Metacritics, whatever, like, people are just praising it as one of the best RPGs ever made of our time. And I'm not disagreeing. It's just, I have not put as many hours into it as I should. Alright, and next game on the list is, this blew me away, alright? Turok 2, which was released on PC this year. It's like, this is like a 1997 N64 game, right? It was fun, yeah, but it was very limited on the system. And I won't even go that far. It wasn't limited. That game, like, freaking just took every advantage of the N64 and just used every bit that they could out of it. It was extremely ahead of its time. The control scheme's obviously garbage, though. You got console controls on an N64 controller. Really bad controls. So, this comes out this year, and I'm like, dude, I love that game. I love messing around with the cheats. It was fun. I get it. This game could rival modern first-person shooter games in terms of the gameplay and variety and level design. Turok 2 has phenomenal level design. The aiming, the shooting mechanics are like I said, on par with modern FPS games. This game, like, was so ahead of its time. It's not even funny. It's rivaling FPS's released this year. Fun freaking video game. My gosh, I enjoyed that game. It gets really long though, like, and some levels are become like very labyrinthian, which isn't a bad thing, but it becomes so much that you get lost and you're just wandering for hours trying to figure out where to go. But Turok 2, jeez, get this game. The weapons are insane. So many weapons, my gosh. The unique death animations. The blood, it is insane. The detail they had put in this, like, one of the 20-some-year-old game. Just insanity, man. Turok 2, get it on Steam if you don't have it. It is a great game. Alright, this is on my list too, on honorable mentions. This could be most disappointing, and this could be honorable mentions. People are going to be a little like, what? But you know what? Battlefront 2. Now, this is on honorable mentions and not on my top list. Simply because this game was butchered. This is a game that is amazingly well made. Gorgeous looking game. Great gameplay. Completely poisoned by EA's meddling. Like, I've said this many times on stream, I'll bet you DICE, the guys that made this game put their heart and soul into this game, and you know they did. I'll bet you some of them go to bed at night just like not even able to sleep, knowing how badly EA has poisoned their game. Because it is a poisoned video game. This sucker has single-handedly started the whole loot box downfall. Like, my gosh. They've been putting hints into every their games, you know, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they just went all in on this one. Like, pay to win mechanics in a $60 game. Not even able to play Vader when you buy it until you put 40 hours into the game. Even if you got the special editions, you couldn't play as Vader. Like, well, there's not much to be said that others haven't said. Like, this has been said to death, but I'm trying to take that other take where I'm saying, this is a very good game. I love this video game. The freaking space battles is phenomenal, even though DICE didn't do that part. But the combat, the other game modes are fun. Visually amazing. I put many hours into this, like 30 or so hours into this, and it just depresses the heck out of me that it's such a great game ruined by EA. But it deserves every bit of criticism that it gets. Don't get me wrong. I will not defend this game. I will never defend this game if someone criticizes it. But I really enjoyed the video game that I played. It would have been on my top 10 list if there wasn't this disgusting microtransaction bullcrap. don't get me wrong, that would have put it up to, like, my top 3 of the year, like, no joke, because I am a Star Wars fanatic, and, oof, that hurts, man. I will never, like I said, I will never defend criticism from this game, because it deserves every bit that it gets. Awful, awful, awful what happened to it. Oh, alright, let's move on. Yakuza Kiwami is on my honorable mentions. Simply because it's still in my wrapping right here. I haven't opened it. But Yakuza has, like, one of the most special places in my heart. Gosh, dang it, I love the series. I bought this game when it was released in, when was it, 2002? I don't know what year. I better skip this track since frickin' Alan Wake was actually Alan Wake was removed from Steam because of that song. Hey, by the way, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I'm streaming, so thank you for the $20 donation. Don't know why I have Santa Claus still. I need to change that. Anyway, Yakuza Kiwami's on my honorable mentions because I bought the first Yakuza when it came out in 2001, 2, whenever it came out on the PS2. I jumped on immediately, saw the previews, was like, dude, this looks like Shenmue, modern, heck yes. I loved it. Loved the story, there's so many side quests, mini games, I love it, I love it, I love it. And Kiwami, I mean, it's a remake of the first one, so obviously, I'm going to love it. So, that's all my honorable mentions for that reason alone. Kiwami, I will get around to playing it. I still need to beat Yakuza 0. Okay, we'll move on to Nier Automata. Okay. I have like 15 hours logged into this game. Here's the thing. Everyone's like, dude, you have to play this game like 5 times to get the real ending or see all the endings, etc. That turned me off so much that I have not gone back to playing it. But I am acknowledging right here that this is an amazing game. Great game, great gameplay, phenomenal soundtrack. And the plot's like, what the frick plot going on? So Nier 2 is definitely on my honorable mentions. Probably would have been on my top games if I had played it more, but it just really turns me off that I have to replay it like a billion times. So, even though I'm told it's like a completely different experience for each playthrough, I will get around to doing it. I really will. But for now, it's definitely, I'm acknowledging this is an amazing game. It really is. And I'll get around to it eventually. That's all my honorable mentions. Oof. Oof. Did I really put that on my honorable mentions? Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I mean, I put 30 hours into this game, okay? I don't know if I love or hate this game. I can't tell! It's a really weird thing. There's so many things I love and there's so many things I hate about this game. It is such a generic anime bullcrap video game, but there is so much in it that I love as well. Straight up, I'm going to say it right now. The character design in this game is awful. It is so, like, it felt like 17 different artists did the character design in this game, and it is so, like, vastly different between character to character. You got straight up hentai characters, and then you got, like, Pokemon-esque chibi characters, and it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, don't get me wrong, the butts and boobs are nice to stare at, but it's just so, like, it's such jarring changes between character designs. And that, like I said, the tropey anime bullcrap is in it, and I'm so sick of the anime tropes. It's taken a lot for me to get back into anime lately because I'm just so sick of the tropey crap that I've been dealing with since I was 13 years old, man. But the game has a phenomenal music. Oof. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 soundtrack. Oh my gosh, that soundtrack. Wait, is it called Xenoblade Chronicles 2? What's it called? It's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Okay. Special edition. It's not mine. I'm borrowing it from my brother's. Because there's the other one, which is Xenoblade. The one previous. I don't even remember what it's called. But the combat's, like, really addicting. You gotta build up combos and, like, chain it between each characters to get this combo going. It's really satisfying, the combo system in this game. And honestly, that's what's keeping me going, is that combo system. It's really good. The story is really interesting as well. I'm curious how it's gonna go. I'm curious about the characters. They are enjoyable, likable characters. But the tropey crap is just ugh. And the side quests are so bad. I can't even do the side quests. They are so bad I can't do them. I'm just like, I'm ignoring side quests and just going straight with the story because the side quests are so dull and boring and they take forever to complete. It's like, go do this. You go on somewhere to this giant map, find items, go back. Okay, now I need this. And it's just like, I am not doing this. So, like, I do like it, but there are many issues I have with this. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Last game on the For Honor list. Honorable mentions list. For Honor. This game deserves a lot of the criticism it got, but I think it got criticized way too harshly. This game did a lot of new things that no one did, and I think it deserves a lot of praise for it. I put many hours into this game, and I loved the crap out of it. It's a great looking game, first of all. The production values are just phenomenal. The animations, the weightiness to everybody is just like such a good looking game and a good feeling game. It had so many problems at launch. Very exploitable characters that could cheese the crap out of you. Balancing issues fixed a lot of this, and it's a really solid game. And you don't get this kind of gameplay in any other video game. You really don't. It tries to, like, you know, it's more like Chivalry, kind of like that, but it did its own thing, and I really appreciate that. I loved the game. Like, I love For Honor. It was on my top list, but I had to mark it down to the honorable mentions. But I love For Honor. I really do. It's a great game. And I really appreciate Ubisoft's experimental phase they're going through. They're doing so many, like, experimental games, and I just really appreciate this. Like, with Rainbow Six, For Honor, the Rabbids game. Like, I don't have any interest in the Rabbids game, but I acknowledge that it's a good game. But For Honor is just, it was criticized way too harshly, I think. It deserved a lot of criticism, but it was panned way more than it should have been, I really do feel that. Okay, we're out of the honor mentions. Let's move on to my, I guess, the categories. Top music for me this year. Hollow Knight. Oh my lord. This soundtrack is so good. So good. In fact, I should play a flippin' track for you right now. Here's my favorite track from Hollow Knight. I'm gonna load it up. Wait, what is the track called? I don't remember what it's called. I'll remember it when I see it. Maybe I don't know. Is it Queen's Garden? No, Green Path. It's Green Path. But this track's good. Oh, listen to this music. Oh my gosh. This is my favorite track right here. This game blew me the frick away, and many others, I might add. I will get more in depth because, spoiler, it's on my top list because, good lord, this game, but top music, for sure. Oh my gosh, I love the soundtrack to this game. Let's go to the next game while we're listening to this. I only have two on my list, honestly. It's Xenoblade 2, which I already discussed. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Hold on, I just want to listen to this music. So good. have 3 games on my music. Let's not 2. What am I talking about? Wait, this part. Such a good track. Such a good track. Okay. Oh, I want to keep listening to it. In fact, I'm going to listen to it in the background while I'm talking. Okay, yeah, second game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game has great music. Like, I think the best part of this game is the soundtrack. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Definitely gonna be getting that soundtrack. Third game. Freaking freaking Head. Soundtrack to Cuphead is so freaking good. Oh my gosh, I love Cuphead soundtrack. Very, very, you know, it's a throwback to the 30s cartoons music. It's just so good. I love it. We'll get more into Cuphead later. How about graphics? Graphics category. So, I'm a pretty big graphics whore. I guess it's not a big surprise. I love taking screenshots in video games. Like, I have thousands of screenshots from Witcher 3. Like, thousands of screenshots. And another one which has a lot of screenshots from this year. Horizon Zero Dawn. That game is mind-blowingly gorgeous for a console game. How did they do this? This thing is just... Oh! I took so many screenshots from this game, and I would just stand and stare at, like, all the scenery in this game, and just go into the photo mode and just, like, I bet you I have, like, 10, 15 hours alone in photo mode in this game. Oh my gosh, Horizon Zero Dawn is, like, gorgeous, and it runs solid for a flippin' console game. I mean, 30 FPS is not really preferable on PC, but it's a solid 30 FPS, which is really good for a console game. Yeah, someone just mentioned the dialogue face animations were really weird. They went for this weird, like, I don't even know. The facial animations were funky. Sometimes they were on point, but most times they were really off. I'm talking environmental, though. The environments was just insane. And the monster designs or the creature designs, it's insane how many parts you can knock off of the animals. Like, the big T-Rex guy had, like, how many parts? Like, countless parts that you can knock off and then use those parts against him. Crazy, crazy.
Give me a hug, man.
Rune Wolf, thanks you for the resub, and thanks for the follows. I think I'm going to turn off the follow notices, though, for now, while we do this top list. But thank you for the follows, regardless. Okay, let's move on to the next game on graphics lists. Let's get some music playing again. Oh, graphics. Hellblade, which I acknowledge has its issues. I didn't even finish the game. It started to drag, got a little repetitive. It's not really a fan of the gameplay, but like, I appreciate what they did with the game. I acknowledge that it's a good game. And on the topic, it's an amazing looking game. Really good looking game. I turned follows off. Why is it doing that? It has a photo mode, so I had fun with that. But yeah, it's very Corridor-esque, so it just allows for them to get really creative with the art style and setting up scenes. Just really good looking game. Like I said, I appreciate what they did with the game, but I'm talking visually specifically right now, and very good looking game. So let's move on to the next game on the list. Oh, well, Battlefront 2. Probably one of the best looking games ever to date at the moment. Oh my gosh, put this game like at a higher resolution, try to like super sample that. It's almost photorealistic, but DICE has always done that with their flippin' Frostbite engine games. They're just like, it's mind-bogglingly realistic graphics. Say what you want about the game, but good lord, is it an amazing looking game. You look like, any little detail. You look down at the ground and it's just like, holy frick, and you're just staring at like the gravel and like just the textures, the bump mapping. No, it's not called that anymore, is it? What is it called now? The way it like is bumpy, it like just looks so realistic. Yeah, it's probably one of the best looking games to date. Like seriously. Okay, last game on the list graphically, Cuphead. How did they do this? Like, I really I've dabbled in animation before, like very amateur-esque, very basic, and I can't even fathom how many frames they would have had to have drawn for this. It is straight up a 30s cartoon brought to life in video game form that you can play, that plays amazingly well. Let's put that out there as well. But visually specifically, oh my gosh, they nailed what they were going for with this. They nailed it. It is one of the best looking games ever, and it always will be. That's the thing. This game's not going to age badly. It's going to look like this forever and look this good forever. Cuphead could possibly be the most timeless game ever made. Like, seriously. Oh my gosh, that game is just phenomenal, what they did with it. I'm going to use that word a lot, I guess, but it is phenomenal. Cuphead. Like, props to you, animators. Oh my gosh. Props to you. Okay, we're out of the category list. Oh my gosh, can we actually move on to the top games? We did it. We did it, everyone.